Hi, this is Accordion Cafe here with another video. The Dyson V6 Annual. There's different models with different names, but basically it's a wand cleaner, rechargeable. And a common fault on these is what we're going to talk about today. I'd like to say that if you're not familiar with working with these more modern machines, you need to be careful because they're all made of plastic and you can break parts and damage them even doing the simplest of tasks. Now the problem on this is pulsing. It starts and then stops, and it may start again after a while, or it may start again after a few seconds. And the first thing you have to do really is to keep the cleaner clean. When you empty the cleaner, the usual way is you just simply press your red button here and you open, this drops open and the dirt drops out. The next stage is to put a knife inside here and clean out around here. If the fault doesn't rectify itself, well, it's not a fault really, it's just basic maintenance, isn't it? The next thing you have to do is to go to your filter here, which is in the top, and this pulls out. These are expensive, they're 22 quid. That's a lot of money, and you can wash these. When you wash them and you dry it, if it still doesn't work, then the next stage is there are these filters here. There's two parts, and you'll see there are 3 lugs here. You can put a screwdriver in between this part of the body and gently pull it out. Don't push it too far, you could break it. So gently. Now when you take this out of here, what you'll find is it's very difficult to work with one hand, so excuse me a second while I just use 2 hands. Oops. Hold on a second, just wedge this in here somewhere. Right, you pull this out, and inside there you'll probably find there's hair off your hairbrush, dog's hairs, filth and muck all clogged up, and inside this. Now you can wash this, and you can get quite manual with it and giving it a real good squeegee and a wash, and then let it dry. If you put it in the sunshine on a normal day, not too hot, behind a window, it'll dry it, but don't put it on top of a heater. Certainly don't put it close, because if you do and you forget about it, that's what will happen, you'll melt it. Okay, like the previous owner of this tried without success. So, and then that just goes back in there, and these 3 lugs, what you can see here, they just go back in there. There's no way around and push that back in. And then we pop it back in the cleaner. I'll pick the phone up again and shove it in there. Now, that should do the trick. If it doesn't, then you'll need to get a screwdriver and prise this thing off here. This is the next phase. What we're talking about here is a fault. This is not normal maintenance now. You need to be very careful that you don't break it or damage this, because you can prise this off here. What's happening is the machine's clogged up, and there's a thermal cutout device, so that the instant the machine senses that there's an overload, overheating, lack of airflow, it will cut out. A thermal cutout is quite common. They've got them on a lot of cleaners. The Henry's got one. That's a prize a prize fault on that. A very stock fault. A thermal cutout cuts out and it won't start again for a long time. Minutes and minutes and minutes go by. So you've got to prise this all the way around, leaving the seal on the main part of the body. Okay. Now when you pull this off here, you'll see a lot of dirt. Okay. Now you can see it all here, and especially around here. Now it is quite bad around there. There are still vents open, but all these things combined, such as the outer part of this filter, a clogged up rubbish bin on it, debris bin, and this, as well as the filter, they all combine and it'll cut off. So now we have to get a brush and clean this out here all the way around. When it's cleaned out, you can then snap it back together, and it should, with a bit of luck, be okay. As I say, you leave that part behind. Don't try prying off this here, because you'll damage it. Just this part, okay? Now, the next thing to do is to look down the pipes if you're still getting problems, or you can try it without the pipe on, without any attachments. Just try it with an open end and see if that cures the fault. If it cures the fault, when you reconnect this, then you've got a blockage in the pipe, or it could be a blockage in the head. These are quite simple to clean out. There's just the one screw there, but it's not a screw actually, it's a latch. It's only a quarter of a turn latch on this, and then you can unblock this and make sure it's free to turn. These are motorized. You can see there the electrical connections, and if it's clogged up, that will stop the airflow. It will stop the cooling to it. And I think you'll find that when we've done all this cleaning, emptied the bin properly, you can stick a knife in between the bin and here when it's in position, and encourage out any muck. If that doesn't work, take this filter out, have a look at it, give it a wash. If it still doesn't work, take the filter apart, pull that network out from it, pull that framework out from inside, push it back. Don't put it too close to a heater. Put it a few feet away from the blower, and after a few hours it should be ready to put back in. If you put it back in damp, you will immediately clog the filter, because the dust will stick to it and fix itself in there. Try it again. If that's no good, you may want to have a look at the head first, or the pipe. If still no good, if it's still pulsing, switching on and off, then we've got to remove this, prising it round with a screwdriver, and then give this a good clean all around here. All this muck has got to come out. And there we are. When you've done all that, it's all been cleaned, reassemble it, try it, and if it's just that what was causing the problem, then you should be okay. It's a user maintenance thing up to this part. When you come to this part, just be careful you don't mark this or put any really bad dents in it. And you can wash that part and dry it. Get a paintbrush, a dry paintbrush and a vacuum cleaner. Brush this all out with the paintbrush all the way around, so you get all the dirt out. And your pulsing, switching on and off, should be rectified. And there we are. If you've done all this and it's still pulsing, then I'm afraid you're going to have to take it into an agency, because there'll be a fault on the actual circuitry connected to the motor. Once again, if you feel fit enough, if you're mechanically minded or careful enough to take this off yourself, take it off, and that should clear the fault. Well, thanks for watching the video. If you I hope you're successful, and if you like the video, give it a like, tick the box, and we appreciate that. And that's all for now. It's Accordion Cafe signing off. Bye bye.